The Patriots are a dumpster fire. The 2024 Patriots are basically unwatchable. At this rate, I'm not opposed to networks airing reruns of Fran Drescher in place of Patriot games. The team has, in the words of Jay-Z, 99 problems. Their head coach, Jerod Mayo, might be a certified moron who I've defended before due to the fact it's his first year as a head coach, but the defense for Mayo becomes harder each week when they keep getting blown out or lose close games in embarrassing fashion against beatable opponents. There being reports of how he's lost the locker room, his post-game interviews that have me pulling out my wallet just to help pay for media training. I mean, how has no one pulled him to the side and said, "Hey bud, shut up and do what Bill did"? I mean, the guy is basically the Aaron Rodgers version of head coaches. I can't remember a time where he's taken the blame, only just shifted it to others. Literally just the other day, after the brutal loss to the James Conner-led Cardinals, Mayo basically threw Alex Van Pelt under a freight train when questions were flying in his direction about the lack of converting on 3rd and 4th downs. There's also been times where it's been brought up how the Patriots are one of the most penalized teams in the NFL, and Mayo's response?
Look, it's always, look, once those guys cross the white lines, there's nothing I can do for them. There's nothing any coach can do for them once they cross the white line.
22nd. I don't know why I thought it was much more than that. Don't worry though, even with Mayo making comments about Van Pelt, he'll most definitely go on some sports talk radio show and dial back what he said like he does every single week. As for Alex Van Pelt, there's probably a divide on how fans feel. Some may say he's done a great job developing Drake May as a quarterback and that the offensive problems can't fully be his fault when the team is opting to fill the offensive talent with Make-A-Wish kids and Pop Warner players. Others may say he's a moron and doesn't deserve the job. I fall in the category of Van Pelt just being an idiot and that the team should just move on from him. Something that I have a sneaking suspicion ownership feels the same way about after yesterday's game. The defense can barely stop a nosebleed as they currently rank 23rd in points allowed, and I think this falls completely on defensive coordinator DeMarcus Covington, who I feel walked into a situation where I'd say the defense was the most stable piece of this team, which is why I suspect that he's someone who will enter the offseason with the most likely chance of being let go. As for player personnel, going into the offseason and draft, there are so many gaps for the Patriots to fill, I'm not even sure they can do that all in one go. They need to give May wide receiver help, as running it back with players like Booty, Polk, and whatever third string guys they consider starters isn't an option anymore. I do like guys like Pop Douglas and Kendrick Bourne, but I don't see Bourne as a long-term solution, but more of a situational veteran presence. I don't have many opinions on Javon Baker yet because he barely plays, and it seems as though that Jerod Mayo gets off on keeping Baker in the doghouse. If I'm the Patriots, I'm entering the offseason throwing a bag at T. Higgins and drafting a player like Ted McMillan out of Arizona to help fill the need of a big body receiver. You could take Hunter, but McMillan I feel would fit better in this situation, or a guy who can really stretch the field like Luther Burden out of Missouri. Running back room wise, I'd probably take one in the draft, as Ramondre Stevenson will be 27 going into next year, and Antonio Gibson, I'm honestly stunned, has made it through this entire year without an injury. Looking at the board after Ashton Genty, it's kind of a crapshoot, but I like Travion Henderson out of Ohio State. Go Buckeyes. As for the offensive line, I don't know what this is. They're basically a condom with holes punched in it, as the line seemingly can't protect shit and just constantly give up pressures and sacks. I'd honestly see what's available on the market this offseason, mainly in the veteran department, as I think the offensive line desperately needs a couple good leaders. Oh, what I would give for this offensive line. As for the defense, edge rusher would probably help, another corner, fire Covington. I don't think it should be this bad, honestly. Like I said, this Patriots season is a complete and total dumpster fire. Honestly, more than I thought it would be, with the only bright spots really being May and Gonzalez. But that's not enough to field an entire NFL team. This offseason needs to be about making the best moves possible for not just the short term, but the future. Do I think Jerod Mayo keeps his job? I want to say yes, but if the remaining few games look like this, I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone, regardless of what the reports are saying. I do think, though, it's almost certain we're seeing the last of guys like Van Pelt and Covington, but what do you think? What would you do to change the Patriots franchise for next year?